Hello YouTube, Sam here from youtube.com/onlivegamer for the New Boston, and in this tutorial we're going to continue working on the game. So if you remember from the previous tutorial, we created the button attack event, and whenever you click attack it will attack the enemy. So let's go ahead, come up here to form 1, and whenever form 1 loads we'll just go ahead and set progress bar Popeye dot value equals hero dot health, and you can see that health doesn't show up right there, so we need to come over here to the Popeye class, and we need to create a public property. So public property health as integer. Go ahead and hit enter, and if we just type set, we get set and our get. Now these can be in any order you would like, so in our case we have set before, so whenever we get it we will return int health, and whenever we set it, int health will equal value. So now that we have our health property, let's go ahead, come back into form1.vb, and you can see that this works fine. So whenever they use their spinach, what we want to do is we want to update this label right here. So we'll come back into form1.vb, and once it takes off the spinach, we will just set the label. So label spinach left dot text is going to be equal to spinach left, and then we'll go ahead and add int spinach dot toString. So we just convert it to a string to display it on the form. So if you remember from the previous tutorial, if the health drops below 0, we will get an error, and the program will freeze up and stop working because a progress bar cannot have a value of less than 0. So we'll just go ahead and use an if statement, or not an if statement, let's go ahead and use a try statement. So try, it's going to go ahead and try to set this progress bar, and we'll go ahead and catch that exception. So if we get an exception saying it's below, then what we want to do is tell the user that they have won. So we will just type messagebox.show Popeye has won. And after we've shown that, what we want to do is generate another enemy. So we'll just generate enemy there so that the user has a new enemy to fight once he has won. So let's go ahead and try this out and see if everything works fine. So you can see that we have both progress bars are at their fullest, and let's go ahead and attack. You can see that it takes away some health. We can attack again, we can keep attacking, we can use spinach, and you can see that it says we have 2 left, then we have 1 left, then we have 0 left, and you can see that it says Popeye has won. Now let's go ahead, and if spinach left equals 0, then we'll just disable this radio button. So we will go ahead and come down here to button attack, and if it's checked and int spinach is equal to 0, greater than 0, then we'll do that. But else if int spinach equals 0, then what do we want to do? We want to type radio spinach dot enabled equals false. So we'll go ahead and run this. We can use spinach, so 1, 2, we've got 1 left and we've got 0 left. You can see that it's going to disable it for us, but it disabled it after. So what we need to do is, let's go ahead and copy this right here, and we will put it as the first thing that happens when this button is clicked. So if int spinach equals 0, then what do we want to do? Well, we will just go ahead and uncheck that radio button. So radio spinach dot checked equals false. So it's going to uncheck it for us, and then we'll go ahead and disable it. Dot enabled equals false. So we will take this out right here. And now let's go ahead and run this. And you can see that we've got use spinach, we got 2 left, we got 1 left, we got 0 left. And then if we click it, it disables it and unchecks it for us. And you can see that the enemy still has some health left. So if we keep attacking, it says Popeye has 1. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to have the enemy fight back after every time it has been attacked. So we'll come over here to our toolbox, and let's go ahead and add a timer. So we'll go ahead and look for one. Here's a timer right here, and we will minimize the toolbox. So here's our timer. We want to set the name to timer delay, and we'll set the interval to 1 second or 1000 milliseconds. So let's go ahead and double click on timer delay tick. And so whenever they attack, what we want to do is we want to start the timer. So we will just type timer delay dot start. So the timer is going to start every time they attack. But we need to enclose this inside of this try catch statement so that if the enemy has been defeated, it won't start that timer. So now whenever the timer ticks, what we want to do is make the enemy attack.